What's going on, y'all? H-Star here, going to be talking about something that went a bit viral recently. It was a clip of Russell Wilson. He had asked Ciara when he was on one knee for more kids. This was on the Ellen show. Now, honestly, you know, as it looks to me, it just seems harmless, innocent, but it never fails. The internet is so fickle. Ever since these two have been together, people like to stir controversy out of nothing. They look at this and they make up controversy because Ciara ain't been in no controversy. Russell Wilson, more importantly, has never gotten in any shit in his life. And because he ain't gotten in no bullshit in his life, and the internet knows this, they want to make up controversy. Okay? They make up the controversy. And the controversy is two things. They bring up that Ciara's a single mother, which I can get into that later. And they bring up Russell Wilson is a alleged simp, which this term has been thrown around loosely about Russell Wilson for a long time, saying he's a simp for picking her. As if, and it baffles me, why should the internet give a fuck who he dates? I mean, but then again, I guess it comes with the territory. Hell, it's just like if you're a regular person. You could be a regular dude and announce who you're dating to the world. Because I know some of my boys who've done that. And let's say they announce, hey, I'm dating so-and-so. And our side of the internet can become a bit fickle, where they're like, oh, how dare you choose her, blah, blah, blah. It's just on a smaller scale compared to this. And it baffles me. Why do y'all give a fuck who he chooses? And then you have a combination of men and women throwing the term simp on Russell Wilson, and they either have no experience whatsoever of being a simp, or they don't know the true definition of the word simp. So class, I'm about to present to you the following information. What the definition of the word simp is. The definition of the word simp reads as follows. Simp is an internet slang term describing someone who shows excessive sympathy and attention towards another person, typically someone who does not reciprocate the same feelings in order to win their affection, usually done in pursuit of sex. Which, quick story time, I was once a simp. Like many years ago, there was a chick who I was pursuing, a co-worker at the time. This was at my old job, by the way. Chick who I wanted, and she obviously was a gold digger. I kept hearing she was a gold digger and didn't listen. And I was giving her money consistently. I gave her whatever she asked. No questions asked. And I knew what I was doing. I knew I was only giving her money, no reciprocation, but I was young. Mad young. Happened early in my life. And did I know it was wrong? No, I thought I was doing the right thing. Giving her money because I was like, well, it makes her happy. But when I started realizing and noticing a pattern with her that she only came around when I had money, I cut that shit off. But that, ladies and gentlemen, that definition that you just saw on the screen and the story I just shared with you is an example of a simp. Russell Wilson is not that. Russell Wilson is not a simp. So stop with that narrative. He's not a simp for dating Ciara. He's not a simp for wanting more kids. He's not a simp for being a stepdaddy to a single mother. And we're about to get into that. Ciara's a single mother. And a portion of the internet is very fickle against single mothers. They don't like single mothers because a lot of the times they like to point the fingers at them, which, granted, Some of them do make the mistake of choosing the wrong one. Okay? We all make mistakes, but the most important thing from the mistakes is whether or not you learn from them moving forward. And the thing about single moms is people wonder, why did they choose a guy with no kids? This is why. Because the single guy ain't got no baby mama drama. Okay? When you ever hear about baby daddy drama? Like, no. Because the men who are baby daddies are mature enough to not be squabbling over a woman that's not theirs anymore. Most of them. I can't speak for all of them. They avoid the single dads with kids because of fear of the baby mama drama. And the baby mama drama, it exists in many different ways. And I do feel bad for anybody I know that's dealing with baby mama drama. I feel bad for y'all. And people, the internet can be very fickle towards single moms. And they don't want to hear it. They think that single moms should not find a guy who's single with no kids. Even though it could be some things that may have happened during the relationship that's not her fault, where 100% of the accountability can be put on the father. Let's say it's a scenario in which the dad doesn't want to be a part of that kid's life, whereas he'll be this perfect guy in her head, where, oh my God, you know, he's the sun, moon, and cosmos, to where she gives him a kid and he switches. Like a switch, he acts different. All of a sudden, he don't want shit to do with her because of the kid. The guy who at first said, yeah, let's have a kid. And then when the kid comes, don't want shit to do with it. How can people blame her? How is it her fault? If the guy don't want shit to do with the kid. Not saying that he's saying, oh, abort the kid. It's not her fault if he just switched up and said, you know what? I don't want nothing to do with you now. There are some people who knock up a woman and don't want to be a parent. They don't want to step up like a father, like a man's supposed to be, and be a part of the kid's life. And then you have the single moms. Let's say their husband may have passed away due to unfortunate circumstances, or boyfriend or baby may have passed away, which caused them to be single. I don't think that's a situation we could really put blame on them. Okay? Because I do feel like we do live in an era where people are too critical of single moms. And then society likes to look down on stepdads when it's ironic, really. The people who look down on stepdads are people who was probably raised up in a stepdad household. So how can you hate on somebody who want to be a stepdad if you were brought up in that? You can't make that shit up. And then there are the guys who I know, who I grew up, that had single moms. They turned out just fine. They turned out just fine, stood out of trouble. You know, good people. But people don't want to talk about that. They want to talk about all the negative. All the other things that happen, like, oh, if somebody grows up and he's into, you know, drugs, or he's into this and that. That shit happens in two-parent households. There are people who grew up in two-parent households that can grow up and be a serial killer. I'm just saying. And then there's people who will tell you that kids need to grow up around a father figure or have a father in their lives. Now, I understand they'll say the biological father ideally, but we gotta understand, some of these biological dads ain't shit, and they don't want shit to do with the kid. Deadbeats. So somebody gotta step up, unfortunately. And in the early goings of dating a single mom, you can, like, there's a good chance she's not gonna introduce you to the kids right away, right? Maybe after y'all been together, like, for a certain time, if y'all get that far, and it's been a good while, like, let's say it's been 2 years. I'm not saying she'll wait that late, but if it's been a while where y'all been dating and y'all make it official, she'll end up eventually wanting to introduce you to the kids. and you have a relationship established with the kids. And at that point, you know, you're gonna have to step up if you get introduced to the kids. You know what I'm saying? That's if you even plan on being in this kid's life as well as hers. Because I mean, granted, some women don't, you know, they may never want their boyfriends to meet the kids. They may just want to be like, you know what, I got them. You know what I'm saying? You just do what you got going on. You know what I'm saying? But others would want to introduce them to the kids. And I think a lot of people don't look at this from the perspective of the child. Where when the child's growing up from age, let's say 10 to 18, that child is going to grow up looking at you, the stepfather, as their dad. They're not going to look at the deadbeat who didn't want shit to do with them as the father. They're going to look at you as the dad. Legally, you'll be labeled the stepfather, but in the kid's eyes, you're the parent. You're their father. See, we can't talk about how a man needs to be present in the kid's life, but then move the goalpost to, oh, the biological father, when the biological father don't want shit to do with them. The majority of people don't mind being a stepfather at all. It's only the minority that have a problem with it. But you get people like Russell Wilson to be branded a simp for being a father. Not only a father to the kids he's had with Ciara, a father to his stepchild. And another reason why people villainize Ciara for being a single mother is this. Now, back in 2014, we all know that Ciara and Future broke off. This was after their engagement, after she had done been pregnant with Future's kid. But then once Ciara found out that he had been messing around on her, she left. She left. She didn't need Ciara. Hell, Ciara's a success in her own right. She didn't need him, so she left. It's not the 1950s anymore, people. A woman that has shit going on for her, that has money. And she ain't gotta be hella rich like Ciara, but she can be somebody who at least has enough money to take care of herself and hers. So when you start fucking up, she gone. And it's all your fault at that point. And I know what people will say. Well, it's Future. It comes with the territory. Shut that shit up. Shut the fuck up with that. Like, I mean, granted, we know how Future is, right? And we know Future isn't that type of guy to settle down. At least not no more. You know what I'm saying? Because Future's still doing his thing. But people still think and also push this narrative that if you're hella successful, you have different women throwing themselves at you, there's a chance you're going to step out and cheat. A chance. But you at least have to be a man enough and mature enough to not delve into cheating. Because ain't no way. You fuck up an entire engagement because of a one night stand. And granted, this was back, and granted, I preface by saying this was back in 2014. I'm pretty sure Future is a different person today in 2022 than he was in 2014. But still, this is the reason why Ciara ended up leaving Future, is because she found out about the cheating and she wasn't gonna deal with that bullshit. Like, it's just like us men, we ain't gonna deal with it. You expect a woman to deal with it? And that's another thing. Some men like to go after women who they know can't live on their own. They can't afford to live on their own. And they need someone to provide and take care of them. And they look at it like, wow, I got the advantage because I can cheat. And she'll never leave because I'm the provider. Is what a dumb person would say. Because regardless if you have the options or not, you have to be man enough and mature enough to say no. Because at the end of the day, these side pieces that claim they would care about you really deep down don't. They're just never going to tell you they don't. They're going to pull a front and act like they do. People looked at this situation with Future and Ciara, and who did they villainize? I mean, now granted, I wasn't really plugged in with pop culture back then in 2014 like I am now. But I'm not sure if Future got dragged for this or not. But I know Ciara's gotten dragged for this. Did Future get dragged for it? I don't know. But I know Ciara did. It's prevalent today with her dating Russell Wilson. Like, y'all calling her, saying shit like, oh, she's leftover, she's this and that. He was cheating on her. What was she supposed to do? Take it on the chin and keep it moving? That's the problem. That's the goddamn problem. Even back in 2014 and even today, people think that women ought to take your shit just because of your status. Like, this is not 1955. Women do not have to take a man's shit. And I hope y'all realize how toxic it is and it can become when you tell a woman that she ought to just take you cheating. It's toxic, because if a woman ends up taking it and taking it and taking it and taking it of you cheating, eventually she's gonna become this powder keg that has a fuse lit, and when it ignites and explodes, it's not going to be a good outcome for anyone in the vicinity. Okay, meaning women can only take so much shit. Okay, only take so much of your shit. And if you are a toxic person, and if you're the type of person to take that type of bullshit, it's toxic. It's a toxic mentality, and it's unhealthy, because you can end up reaching your breaking point or boiling point to where he catches you in the right mood and you shoot him in GTA allegedly, or you commit any other act of violence towards him because you got tired of him stepping out. And people kept telling him, oh, it's just his status. No, what y'all gotta realize is, yeah, he got all these women throwing themselves at him, but he needs to be, and I'm not talking about Future, but as a man, you need to be mature enough to know how to say no. Because I'm gonna let y'all in on a little secret. When a man constantly cheats, and I mean constantly and consistently cheats, 3 times, 4 times, and never learns his lesson, what ends up happening is he will start to laugh at her behind her back. A guy ain't gonna look at her like, oh my gosh, she's so strong dealing with the bullshit I put her through. Man, get that fucking ancient old crap out of here, because it's dangerous cheating on a woman. Very dangerous. And that's what a lot of people will refuse to tell you. It's choices comes with consequences. Every action has a reaction. You step out and cheat, you can't be mad if she wants to slit your throat allegedly in GTA. You can't be surprised when it happens. I can't, because I'll be like, well, damn, if you just keep your dick in your pants, maybe she wouldn't be trying to cut it off in GTA. But ever since this, people have labeled Ciara the villain. And granted, the topic of Russell Wilson getting down on one knee to ask for more kids isn't really newsworthy. It's just the fact that people want to make up a controversy out of thin air and trying to falsely label Russell Wilson a simp when they don't know what a simp is or never been one in their life. And one last thing I want to say, and I don't care what nobody says about this, it ain't simping unless you fuck it, or getting any other type of reciprocation that comes with it. Okay, let me repeat that. It ain't simping if you fuck it, because who can really call Russell Wilson a simp if he sleeps with her every night? Let's keep it a bean. How is he a simp if he sleeps with her every night? He's not. And the same guys that's out here labeling Russell Wilson as a simp, they would kill to be in his position to even date Ciara. Okay, not even just date Ciara, but if they were to, get offered like a one night stand with Ciara, they would do it. They would partake in that. Now, with that being said, let me know what you guys think about this down in the comments below. Do you think Russell Wilson is a simp? Till next time, it's been H-Dog here, and I'm out. Peace.